Well, just as Tracy forecasted, it seems that our summer sunshine and clear skies in the Billings area are taking a bit of a break and are being replaced with some unsettled weather. Hello and good finally Friday evening, everyone. My name is Ren Wadsworth, filling in for John Martin tonight. And before we get to some of our stories tonight, let's go ahead and check in with Chief Meteorologist Tracy Smith. You see her right there to tell us a little bit more about the weather conditions we're seeing right now.
Thank you so much, Ren. Well, throughout much of the afternoon, going into our early evening hours, we have been tracking some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some stronger thunderstorms moving through southeastern Montana earlier this afternoon, seeing some strong gusty winds there out of the Miles City area earlier. We're also looking at a severe thunderstorm warning impacting areas like Garfield going into Macomb and Prairie. So we're going to take a closer look at these details right now. This storm system is going to be in place until 5:15. It is tracking more to the east at 55 miles per hour with the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail. Now, you might have noticed a couple of storms just to the north of Billings, moving more to the east as well. These are more strong storms versus severe, but what we're seeing here are the potential for 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. This is mostly going to be impacting rural areas, so just kind of be on the lookout, especially if you are traveling across the state. It is tracking east at 25 miles per hour, impacting northeastern Yellowstone and Muscle counties. Now, you might notice that area of pink, that is a severe thunderstorm watch in place until 8 p.m. for northeastern Montana. We had one in place in the southeastern corner. That has since expired due to improving conditions across the region, so that's always good. But our primary threat with our severe thunderstorm warnings are going to be damaging winds. And of course, we'll have much more to come in your full weather forecast.
All right, Tracy, thank you so much for that. In other news now, we're getting closer to the reopening of the iconic Beartooth Pass. Last Friday, MDT's Beartooth Highway crew reported they saw an estimated 12 to 16 inches of new snow. But in the latest update, the road is becoming more and more visible and getting close to being ready to allow visitors to come through. The Department of Transportation plans to have the road cleared in time for next week's scheduled reopening, but that could change depending on weather and other factors. How do we put a value on our park system, specifically our city parks here in Billings? John Martin sat down with City of Billings Park Director Mike Pigg for his perspective on the state of our city parks and what they mean to both visitors and residents alike.
Our new goal this year is one more, and what we want to do is get one more family to come to the park, one more kid to come to the park, one more person to come play tennis, one more, young person to come over and play on the playground. It's just one more. What is it going to take? What do we have to do to get one more person to come here?
The Billings Parks Department manages more than 2,500 acres, or 4 square miles, of parkland across the city of Billings. A little something there for everyone.
We believe that all the positive activities that can go on in a park can just bleed into everybody's normal life. You feel better when you're at a park. You have a different outlook on life when you're sitting here in the sun, watching the trees come out, the birds, and it's just, it changes your view, I think.
Mike Pigg, director of the parks, made headlines recently when he stood before City Council's Budget and Finance Committee announcing that the park system was failing due to a lack of investment from the city.
So I made that statement and I stand by it. I believe we need to know that there's portions of the parks that are failing. And if I don't tell council and if I don't tell the general public what's going on out there, and all of a sudden a wading pool, I can't open it because it's failed, and I haven't told anybody, I haven't given you that advance notice, then it looks bad to me. I'm not doing my job properly. So I've got to give you as much advance notice. That's why I say parks are failing. It's not this rapid decline. Tomorrow we're closing all parks. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, if we don't start putting some money back into the infrastructure in our parks, we will have to start closing facilities.
Mike says that there hasn't been a true park development in Billings since 1989. And with more money needing to go to public safety, the Parks Department will continue to have to take a backseat financially.
it's something my staff and my department's going to have to take on and really scrutinize all of the projects that we do really closely and make sure that we are prioritizing that one that might not be the sexiest project out there, but it's got to get done because that portion is failing.
Last fall's Parks, Rec, and Trails bond failed sizably. Property tax increases likely played a major role. But Mike thinks that maybe a reminder about the benefit of our city parks could start the funding conversation once again.
Come use the parks. That's the best thing. I think the more people we get into the parks, the more people start to realize what an asset the city of Billings has. And it's not just Pioneer Park. It's every park in town. They all have something a little bit different, and there's something for everybody in our parks. Let's talk about trails. I mean, with the Skyline Trail coming in, fantastic assets. I mean, if you haven't gone up and walked Skyline Trail, you just need to make an evening of it because it's just so beautiful up there.
If you're not in the position to give monetarily to the parks, that's understandable. That's fine. But there are other ways to help out if you feel so inclined.
We have a volunteer coordinator that, full-time, that's what he does is try and figure out how people can become active cleaning a trail or working in a park. We have them come in and help us put the fall protection in around playgrounds. So there's all kinds of activities that we can get people to do that, But I think the biggest thing is just come enjoy the parks.
In your national news tonight, a commencement speech that President Joe Biden is scheduled to deliver this weekend at Morehouse College, a prestigious historically black all-male college in Atlanta, has sparked some concern among the school's faculty and student body amid heightened tensions on college campuses. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook has the latest.
President Joe Biden is scheduled to deliver the commencement address at Morehouse College, one of the nation's preeminent historically black colleges, this weekend. Morehouse College President David A. Thomas says the school started the speaker selection process last summer.
And then put feelers out to the White House in late August and early September. And got a positive reception in terms of their consideration of it.
But Biden's presence at the Atlanta college comes as tensions rise at campuses across the country. And many have expressed frustration with his administration's continued support of Israel's military campaign in Gaza. Thomas says that the college will allow silent, non-disruptive protest.
I had students ask me about it. What if we, turned our backs on the president or turned our chairs? And I said to them, I'll be embarrassed, but that's not your problem.
But he added that he would shut down ceremonies on the spot rather than allow police to remove student protesters in zip ties if demonstrations escalate. While some say the university should have rescinded the invitation.
It shows a complete lack of engagement and a lack of care with the students' values.
Others say it's an honor to have the president speak at their alma mater.
This is my reunion year, so I'll be sitting down front and very excited, that he's coming.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Next, we're looking at the star prosecution witness Michael Cohen after he faced a scathing second day of cross-examination. And former President Trump's defense team tried to paint him as a spurned former employee desperate for payback. NBC's Laura Jarrett has the story.
This morning, Donald Trump's hush money cover-up trial inching towards a final conclusion after a bruising cross-examination of his former fixer, Michael Cohen. The defense team trying to portray the state's key witness as a serial liar, someone who's misled Congress, prosecutors, a federal judge, and now this jury. Trump attorney Todd Blanche digging into a piece of Cohen's testimony from earlier this week, where he said he informed Mr. Trump by phone in October 2016 that his payoff of Stormy Daniels would soon be handled. Cohen originally told the jury he called Mr. Trump's bodyguard, Keith Schiller, who passed the phone to the former president. Blanche raising his voice Thursday saying that was a lie. The jury then shown never-before-seen text messages suggesting a completely different explanation for the October call, that Schiller was helping Cohen cope with a teenage prankster at the same time. Blanche returning to a log showing the call in question lasted less than 2 minutes. Cohen appearing caught off guard, saying, "I believe I also spoke to President Trump, and told him everything regarding the Stormy Daniels matter. Blanche shooting back, "We are not asking what you believe. This jury does not want to hear what you think happened." Cohen then later saying, "I don't recall telephone calls on a specific date going back to 2016.
It is a fascinating day.
Nearly all of the cross-exam this week squarely focused on Cohen's credibility, as he is the one who paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 on the eve of the 2016 election, and the only witness who has testified the former president directed Cohen to do it to protect the campaign, which Mr. Trump denies. Cohen's motive for lying about that now, according to the defense, payback. His own words on podcast episodes played for the jury.
"Revenge is a dish best served cold. And you better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family."
While we're on the topic of political highlights, let's give Bradley Warren a moment now to share a sneak peek at what we can expect on this weekend's edition of your nonstop local Montana politics show.
Coming up this weekend on Nonstop Montana Politics, Governor Greg Gianforte is sending a strong warning to the White House over plans to stop coal leasing. This from the Powder River Basin. Plus,
right. I mean, across the 30,000 miles and these 16 counties, that's what I hear, housing, housing, and housing.
Plus, candidates for Montana Congressional District 1 outline their plan to deal with affordable housing. We'll break that one down. And our political analyst Mike Dennison weighs in on the candidates running for U.S. Congress as the June 4th primary just 2 weeks away. Who will represent us in Congress? Yeah, we're talking about that. Also, how do our lawmakers compare in a new report ranking who is the most bipartisan? We're going to break that report down coming in, plus the role Native American voters could have, not just in the state of Montana, but across the country. Those stories and so much more. Hope to see you bright and early Sunday morning for this show. Hope everything is well with you as we continue to dive into the world of Montana politics. You can find all the stories and so much more on our website.
Thanks for that, Bradley. In case you missed it, this Saturday, the 13th annual Ramsey Keller Memorial Run will take place starting at 9 a.m. over by Rimrock West Park off Rangeview Drive. This charity event was started with the goal of raising funds to pay for the funerals of infants families have lost that were ages 1 and under. Over the years, awareness of the Keller family's mission has grown massively in size. There are currently over 1,000 people joining in and contributing from 33 different states to this year's race. And if you haven't already, you still have the chance to register or donate to the run via the Keller Memorial's official website until 7 p.m. tonight. Regardless of which sign-up option you choose, all funds will go towards supporting grieving parents' needs and the development of more events like these across Montana. And once again, to join the cause, simply check out the link that's there on your screen right now.